Hey everybody. First of all, welcome back, I guess. I know we're not back in school, but we are back to learning new content, kind of checking in every day and doing stuff for grades. So with that being said, the expectation from me every day is that you log in every day and I will have a short task for you. It shouldn't take more than 20 to 30 minutes on any given day. If that is an issue for you, if you don't have Wi-Fi, if your Wi-Fi is only available at certain times on certain days, please let me know. I will be more than happy to work with you. But if I don't know that information, I can't help you or help support you. So if you need any help or if you need any accommodations like that, let me or Miss Giroux know, and we are more than happy to work with you. But again, you gotta let me know. So just shoot me an email, and that's probably the best way to contact me for that. Okay. So we are moving along with content. What I did was I sat down and met with all the other math teachers at Logan, and we talked about what the very, very important things are for each grade. So you guys got to understand the stuff that I'm teaching you is the stuff that we thought was super important for you moving forward. We cut out a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff that a lot of kids learn in Algebra 1 normally got cut out. We're only teaching you the very important stuff. So the stuff I'm teaching you, you are going to need moving forward. Okay, today's unit, or today's lesson, I guess, is adding and subtracting polynomials. So first of all, you might notice that, hey, you don't have normal note sheets, Mr. Adler. I do and I don't. I'm just going to write on a note app like this, and then I'll post the PDF version of it on Google Classroom. But since all you guys don't have printers, I figured this might be easier. If you don't like this, if you want the old note sheets, let me know, and I can do that as well, I guess. Okay, so first of all, a polynomial is one or more terms separated by a plus or minus. So for example, I could have 3x plus 7 minus 2x squared. That's a polynomial, and each part that's separated by a plus or minus is a term. So for example, 3x is a term, 7 is a term, and negative 2x squared is a term, because they're all separated by a sign, separated by this. So each thing in between a sign is a term. Okay, a degree is the highest exponent. So in the previous example, oh boy, 3x plus 7 minus 2x squared, your highest exponent is 2. So in this example, our degree is 2. Okay, now standard form is the next portion. So standard form, I'm going to move this over so I can write. Standard form is just putting the exponents in order from highest to smallest. Now, a part of that is the sign goes with it. So, for example, if we're looking up here, what's my highest exponent in the example I'm going to circle in green highlighter? My highest exponent is 2x squared. That's my highest term. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything, including the sign, and I'm going to move that out front. So this whole thing is going to get moved to the front. So to put this in standard form, I would have negative 2x squared. Again, the sign goes along with it. Now you say, okay, what's the next highest amount of x's I have? Well, the next highest one you should see is 3x. Now, there's no sign in front of the 3x, but that's a positive 3x, so we're going to write plus 3x. And then last but not least, there's that plus 7 hanging out on the end. So I'm just going to add in the plus 7. So all I did was rearranged. I put the highest exponents first. My highest exponent's a 2. My next highest exponent is a 1, because this is 3x to the first. Again, if there's no exponent, it's implied that there's a 1. So this that I'm highlighting right now, if I can do it, that's 3x to the first. But if you're looking right where I highlighted in yellow, we don't write that. We just write it as 3x. It's the same concept as you don't write 1x, you just write x. This is what I want. This isn't really, it's not mathematically correct. Okay, last but not least, is the leading, oh boy. I'm struggling. Sorry, people. How do I get that to go away? Okay. Look at me go. Okay, the leading coefficient is the coefficient on the highest degree. So, for example, here I have this in standard form. Why is standard form important? Because once I have it in standard form, once I have negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 7, my leading coefficient that I just crossed off, I tried to underline, this is hard. My leading coefficient is just this number out front. Again, the leading coefficient is the number attached to the highest degree. My highest degree is 2, so my leading coefficient here is going to be the negative 2, which is attached out front. Okay. Now, there are a few types of degree that we have like names for. So a degree of 0, well, that would be 5x to the 0 power. But we don't write 5x to the 0 power. We just write that as 5. We call that a constant. Why do we call it a constant? Well, because it's constantly going to be 5. No matter what I plug in for x, it's always going to be 5 because there's no x's there. Okay, next, a degree of 1. Again, degree is just the highest exponents. That would be 2x to the first plus any number. I'm going to say plus 12. Sure. Again, my highest coefficient here, or excuse me, my highest exponent is 1. And this is called a linear polynomial. Okay, next, if I have a degree of 2, I could write something like negative 3x squared plus 1. Why is it a degree of 2? Well, because my highest exponent is a 2, and we call that a quadratic. So anything with the highest exponent of 2 is called a quadratic. Last one, something with a degree of 3, let's say 5x to the third minus 2x minus 5. So again, my degree is 3 because my highest exponent is 3. We call that cubic. Okay, this is a cubic polynomial. Okay, there are more, but these are the 4 I really need you to focus on. If you know these 4, we're good to go. Usually I would teach about 6 of these, but I'm going to cut out all the ones that you don't need to know. You need to know these 4, okay? Constant, linear, quadratic, cubic. And again, we classify them by the highest exponent or the degree. Okay, now types of terms. So again, terms are separated by plus minus. Whoops. Separated by a plus or a minus. So a degree of 1, or excuse me, a term of 1 could just be 3x squared. There's only one term there. You might say, well, Mr. Adler, there's a 3 and there's an x squared. Isn't that 2? No, it's not 2 because, again, if we go back up to the beginning, terms are separated by plus or minus. So right here, there are 3 terms here, we said, because there's 3 things that are separated by the plus minus. There is 1, 2, 3 different terms there. Okay? So if we go back down to where we were originally, where the heck were we? Oh boy, right there. There is no plus minus sign, so there's only one term. This is called a monomial. Monomial. Mono means 1. Okay, next. Think about what creates a term. It's a something separated by a plus minus sign. So for example, 4x minus 7. There is one sign there, and there's something on the left. There's one term. There's 2 terms. So if there's 2 terms, we call that not a monomial, a binomial. Again, bi means 2. Bicycle, there's 2 wheels on a bicycle. Okay, up next, something with 3 terms. So let's say 3x squared plus 7x minus whatever. Let's 52. How about that? Again, there's 1 term. There's 2 terms. There's 3 terms. They're separated by a plus or a minus sign. Okay, since I have 3 terms here, a bicycle has 2 wheels. What type of cycle has 3 wheels? I almost wrote tricycle. This is a trinomial. They have the same prefix. Tri means 3, bi means 2. Okay, last is something with 4 terms. If you have 4 terms, let's just say 3x to the 7th plus 2x to the 5th minus 3x plus any number on the end, 7. How many terms do you have? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, they're all separated by a plus or minus sign. So it's monomial, 1, binomial, 2, trinomial, 3, and last is just polynomial. Poly means many, so it could be 4 or more. We're going to call them all polynomials. Okay, next example is classify each by the degree and the number of terms. Okay, so for the degree, what we first need to do is figure out what the highest exponent is. So what is my highest exponent? My highest exponent is 3. Now if we go back up to the top, what's something called if it has the highest exponent of 3? Where the heck is it? Highest exponent of 3, that's right here. Highest exponent of 3, it's called cubic. So let's scroll back down. This is going to be a cubic function. Okay, now next we need to figure out what the number of terms are. Number of terms. So we need to say, okay, how many things are separated by the plus minus? There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. So there are 3 terms, making it a trinomial. So now what we need to do is just pretty much combine these two words. This is a cubic trinomial. Okay, what I want you to do now is pause the video and try number 2, and then after you're finished, press play, and then see if you got it correct. Okay, so again, we need to figure out the degree and number of terms. We got to classify it by the degree of number of terms. So degree, again, is the highest exponent. The highest exponent is 2. If it has an exponent of 2 by degree, look here. Degree is 2. That is a quadratic. Now we got to figure out how many terms does this beast have. Well, number of terms. It has 1 term here, 2 terms here. So 2 terms makes it a binomial. So this is a binomial, and we now have a, just combine the 2 words, a quadratic binomial. Quadratic binomial, number 1, was a cubic trinomial. Okay, so next up, it says, what is the leading coefficient, degree, and number of terms? So in order to do this, what we first need to do is put this in the correct order. And what I mean by the correct order is the highest exponent has to come first. So in this example, what's your highest exponent? Well, your highest exponent, you should understand, is 2. The highest number in an exponent is a 2. So I'm going to take this whole thing, including the sign, and move it out front. So I'm now going to have negative 3x squared. What comes next? Well, it's a 4x. Is it a plus or a minus 4x? If there's no sign in front, it's a plus 4x. And then the plus 2 drops down. Again, this is in standard form because I have my highest exponent first, my next highest one second, so on and so forth. So then once I have it in standard form, the leading coefficient is just, hey, what's the number out front? My number out front is negative 3. What's your degree? So in other words, what's your highest exponent? Your highest exponent is right there. That means your degree is 2, making this the degree is 2. Degree is 2. That makes it a quadratic. Degree is 2, making it a quadratic. Last but not least, how many terms are there? Well, what you need to do is say, hey, well, there's 1 term here, 2 terms here, separated by a sign. There is the third term. So the number of terms is 3, making this a what? If there are 3 terms, it is a trinomial. Okay, again, what I want you to do for the next one is pause the video, try it yourself, and then check with me. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out what the leading coefficient is. In order to find the leading coefficient, we should put this in the correct order. In other words, put it in standard form. So what's your highest exponent is this term. So the sign and the number goes out front. I should rewrite this as negative 4x to the third plus 2x. Now, what's your leading coefficient? Negative 4. It's a number out front. Degree. The degree is asking for, hey, what's your highest exponent here? Your highest exponent is a 3. Last but not least, how many terms are there? Well, there's 1 term here, 2 terms here. Number of terms, 2, because it's separated by a plus or minus sign. Okay, that is all I have for you today. I will post directions for an assignment along with this.